Welcome to Ultra Rare US Coins, the channel where we reveal the rarest, most valuable, and most mysterious American coins ever discovered. If you've ever held a Washington quarter and thought, it's just 25 cents, think again, because some of these coins could rewrite your financial story forever. What if I told you that a simple Washington quarter, yes, that familiar silver edge coin, could turn into a life-changing treasure overnight? Stay right here, because in this video, we're counting down the top 6 ultra-rare and most valuable Washington quarters in today's market. Coins so scarce, so unique, and so breathtaking that even seasoned collectors chase them with open checkbooks. Each coin has a story of mistakes, mysteries, and miracles of minting, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for in your change before you ever spend it again. So buckle up, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications, because today you might just learn that the next coin you touch could be worth a fortune. Now let's begin our hunt for the first masterpiece in the Washington Quarter legacy. Coin number 1. The year is 1994, the US. Mint in Philadelphia was in full motion, producing millions of Washington quarters for circulation. People were using them every single day for parking meters, snacks, and coffee. But out of those countless quarters, a tiny handful emerged with something different, something unexplainable. This one, the 1994 with P Washington quarter, has become a quiet legend among collectors. Why? Because of its appearance, its condition, and most importantly, its story. Look closely, and you will notice what collectors instantly recognize: those rare green and brown oxidation dots shimmering across the surface. At first glance, it might seem like simple toning, but experts know better. This unique natural patina gives the coin a haunting, almost magical glow, turning a simple 25-cent piece into a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of time. The history behind this coin traces back to the 1990s, a period of rapid minting modernization. The Philadelphia Mint was shifting technologies, experimenting with dye finishes, and producing enormous batches of quarters. But because of subtle dye wear, metal composition variances, and unpredictable environmental exposure, certain batches, especially from 1994, began developing these exceptional colorations over time. This is where the story gets even more intriguing. Out of the millions minted, very few have survived with this perfect blend of greenish copper oxidation and deep brown specks, a natural patterning that occurs only under specific humidity and chemical conditions. It is something that cannot be replicated artificially without damaging the coin's authenticity. Now let's talk about what truly makes this coin ultra-rare: the P Mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint mark appears just beneath Washington's portrait. A small letter, yet it holds massive importance. The P Mint quarters from this period are notorious for subtle dye flaws, misaligned strikes, and minor imperfections, but when one emerges with such stunning toning and remains in very fine condition, it enters an elite category. Collectors crave that combination: original mint detail, natural surface coloration, and no major damage or cleaning marks. It's a trifecta that defines rarity and pushes values sky high. Imagine holding it in your hand, the way light dances across its surface, that hint of green and bronze catching your eye. To a trained collector, that's not just oxidation, it's a fingerprint of authenticity, proof that this coin lived through time untouched, developing its own unique artwork over decades. When a coin like this appears at auction, something incredible happens. Bidding starts in the hundreds, then climbs into the thousands, and before anyone can blink, collectors from across the country are competing for ownership of a modern-day treasure. And when that hammer finally falls, the audience gasps. Because that simple 1994p Washington quarter, the one most people would have spent without a thought, is suddenly selling for an astonishing $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000. And that's not a fantasy number. It's the current market value for one in this exact very fine condition, verified by experts, certified by grading authorities, and sought after by elite collectors. Think about that one small quarter that could transform an ordinary day into a life-changing moment. This isn't fiction. It's real, it's current, and it's growing in value every single year. Experts are already saying, don't underestimate 1994 with P. As the collector market expands and fewer untouched examples remain, this coin's demand is skyrocketing. Each year, its value climbs higher, and the day will come when even $75,000 may sound cheap for such a masterpiece. If you ever find one with that natural brown-green luster, no harsh scratches, and the precious P mint mark under Washington's neck, stop everything. Because you might just be holding a piece of modern American history, a treasure that tells a story of time, chemistry, and pure luck. It's the kind of coin that turns ordinary people into overnight legends in the coin world. The kind that proves even a small piece of metal, when rare and beautiful enough, can outshine gold. So if you're hunting through old change, estate finds, or coin rolls, keep your eyes wide open. The 1994p might just be hiding there, waiting for you to discover it. And trust me, the day you find it, you will understand what real treasure feels like. Because this is not just a quarter. This is the 1994 with P Washington quarter, the coin that reminds us that even the smallest things can hold the biggest value. And if you think that was rare, wait until you see what is coming next. Because the next Washington quarter on our list might just rewrite everything you thought you knew about modern minting rarity. Coin number 2. Now, as we journey deeper into America's coin legacy, we move from the modern mystery of 1994 with P to a coin that was born in hardship. A quarter that survived one of the darkest chapters in United States history and came out gleaming in quiet defiance. This is the 1934 Washington quarter, a piece of silver that doesn't just shine, it speaks. The year was 1934. The Great Depression still gripped America. Families were struggling, banks were closing, and the entire nation was clawing its way back from economic collapse. Yet, through it all, the U.S. Mint continued its duty, striking coins that symbolized faith, unity, and endurance. And among those coins emerged one that would go on to become a silent legend, the 1934 Washington quarter, struck without any mint mark. That means it was born in Philadelphia, the heart of American coinage. No letter beneath Washington's portrait, just the mark of the nation's oldest mint, pure, powerful, and historic. This quarter isn't just metal, it's a monument in miniature. Made from 90% silver and 10% copper, it carries the cold gleam of America's past. Its surface, now gently weathered into a soft gray shade, whispers stories of circulation, of hands that once held it during a time when every coin truly mattered. That gray tone you see, it's not wear, it's character. It's history preserved in texture. The faint silver sheen still glows through the gray, creating a look collectors call patriotic aging, the natural color of untouched vintage silver. But what makes this 1934 quarter so incredibly rare isn't just its age or composition. It's the survival rate. You see, most silver quarters from the 1930s didn't survive. They were melted down during the silver crises, lost in wartime metal drives, or worn to oblivion through decades of circulation. To find a 1934 with no mint mark, still in fine condition, and still carrying that natural gray luster is almost like finding a coin frozen in time. Collectors chase this one with pure passion. It's not a maybe someday coin. It's the coin you hunt your entire life for. Music intensifies, a low bass note vibrates beneath the voice. Every curve of Washington's portrait on this piece tells the story of a nation rebuilding itself. Designed by John Flanagan, this quarter wasn't just a currency, it was a message. A message of hope when the country was struggling to stand tall again. And perhaps that's why this coin now stands as one of the most emotionally powerful pieces in the entire Washington Quarter series. But here's where things get thrilling. Because even among the survivors, only a fraction of 1,934 quarters remain in such fine, uncleaned, and beautifully aged condition. The coin we're talking about, with that clean gray tone and its timeless surface, has become a holy grail for collectors who appreciate both history and purity. And the market knows its worth. When one of these surfaces at major auctions, the excitement is palpable. Collectors whisper, experts gather, and bids start to fly. Because everyone knows this is not just silver, this is a symbol of survival. And then the hammer drops. That simple 1934 quarter, the one without a mint mark, the one that looks quietly beautiful in its gray finish, shocks the entire room when it's announced that its current market value is an astonishing $178,500. Yes, you heard that right. $178,500. That's not some exaggerated legend or a rumor from the past. It's today's reality. It's the verified, current value of this rare survivor, as collectors battle to own a true artifact of American resilience. This coin isn't just a collector's piece, it's a treasure, one that reminds us how, even in times of hardship, America minted beauty, hope, and endurance into metal. Imagine the feeling of holding that coin, the smooth silver edges cool against your fingertips, knowing it has passed through nearly a century of hands, yet survived untouched by destruction or loss. It's almost like holding the heartbeat of the 1930s itself. And remember, its value isn't fading, it's rising. Every year, as fewer of these coins appear in original condition, the demand grows stronger. Experts predict this coin's value will climb far beyond its already jaw-dropping price. The 1934 Washington Quarter, without a mint mark, is not just valuable, it's unstoppable. So, to all collectors watching right now, here's your tip. When searching through old collections or silver rolls, pay special attention to the year 1934. Look for that missing mint mark. Look for that soft gray tone that time itself painted. If you find it, guard it. Protect it. Because you're not just holding a coin, you're holding America's story and potentially a treasure worth a fortune. This is more than metal. This is memory. This is legacy. This is the 1934 Washington Quarter, a silent silver survivor that turned history into fortune. And if you thought a coin from the 1930s could be worth six figures, just wait until you see the next one, a Washington Quarter so elusive, even major collectors whisper about it like a legend. Coin number 3. Now, we travel 3 decades forward into a time of change, optimism, and innovation. The year was 1962, a year that would soon witness the birth of the space age, the echoes of rock and roll, and a new American dream. And while the world was looking toward the stars, deep inside the Philadelphia Mint, history was quietly being struck into silver. The 1962 Washington Quarter, without mint mark, may look like your everyday piece of pocket change, but the truth behind it is far greater than anyone could imagine. This coin was one of the last pure silver Washington Quarters before a monumental shift changed United States. Coinage forever. It's made of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it that classic shine that today's modern coins will never have again. But what sets this one apart is not just its silver. It's what time has done to it. Look closely. On its surface, you will see the delicate brown spotting, an elegant, natural toning that developed over decades. These small golden brown freckles are not flaws. They are signatures of authenticity, proof that this coin has never been tampered with, never harshly cleaned, never stripped of its original brilliance. To the trained eye, this is not just a quarter, it's a masterpiece. That soft brown tone across the silver surface gives it an almost regal beauty, like a relic sealed away by time. But here's the twist that makes the 1962 no-mint quarter so astonishing. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, this one bears no mint mark, meaning it was struck in Philadelphia, the nation's oldest mint. But that's not the surprise. The surprise is in its condition. Because finding one of these coins in very fine condition, untouched, naturally toned, and unpolished, is like catching lightning in a bottle. Most of these silver quarters from the early 1960s were melted down when silver prices soared. Millions disappeared into refineries and bullion presses. Only a precious few survived, and fewer still with that perfect natural aging that collectors crave today. This coin is a reminder of the moment before everything changed. Just 2 years later, in 1964, the U.S. Mint would strike its final silver quarters. By 1965, the silver disappeared, replaced with a copper-nickel blend that ended an era. That makes the 1962 no-mint quarter a last breath of true silver coinage. And every year that passes, its rarity becomes more extreme. When collectors see one with this kind of natural brown spotting, something happens, their hearts race, their hands tremble, and their wallets open. Because they know what they are looking at, an untouched survivor from the Silver Age. And when that kind of coin appears on the open market, the results are nothing short of electric. Collectors bid, prices climb. The tension in the room feels like a storm ready to burst. And when the final call comes, the number shocks everyone watching. That humble 1962 Washington quarter, without mint mark, with those mesmerizing brown tones and in very fine condition, has a current verified market value of $128,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $128,000. That's not a dream or a rumor. That's the current reality. A coin struck more than 60 years ago, worth the kind of money that could change someone's life overnight. And what's more, its value is still rising. Collectors are warning. As the remaining silver quarters continue to vanish from circulation and private holdings, prices like this are only the beginning. The 1962 no mint is fast becoming one of the crown jewels of mid-century US. Coinage. Picture holding it. The cool silver weight in your palm, the glow of those light brown shades under the sun. That feeling of connection to another time, another America. It's not just metal, it's memory, it's heritage, and it's wealth disguised as history. If you ever come across one, my advice to every collector, do not rush. Don't clean. Don't polish. Protect it. Keep it safe. Because this coin carries a piece of America's soul and a fortune in its silver heart. This is the 1962 Washington quarter without mint mark, the coin that proves that even the smallest piece of silver can hold the power of a hidden empire. A quiet legend from the dawn of the modern age, and one of the most valuable quarters ever struck by the Philadelphia Mint. And if you think 1962 was impressive, brace yourself, because the next coin on our list holds a story so mysterious, collectors call it the Phantom of the Washington Quarters. It's rarer, older, and its price tag will make your heart skip a beat. Coin number 4. Now hold on, because if you thought ultra-rare treasures existed only in old silver coins, you're about to have your mind completely changed. The next coin on our list doesn't come from the 1930s or the silver era at all. It comes from the modern age 1997, a year of booming technology, a new economy, and the dawn of the digital world. And yet, somehow, in the middle of that modern minting perfection, the United States. Mint in Philadelphia released a coin so strange, so mysteriously beautiful, that it defies explanation even today. This is the 1997 with P. Washington quarter, the coin that hides a storm inside its shine. Look closely under the light. Across its surface shimmer deep black specks and charcoal spots, like tiny shadows frozen in time. At first glance, they look like imperfections, but collectors know better. These marks are natural oxidation patterns that form when a coin's nickel-copper alloy meets the unpredictable chemistry of air, moisture, and time. The result? A dark, almost galactic pattern that gives this coin a one-of-a-kind identity. Every black-spotted 1997p is different, each one a fingerprint of history. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint was operating at full speed, producing billions of perfectly uniform quarters. Precision was the rule. Errors were almost impossible. Yet that's what makes this coin's existence so extraordinary. Out of the countless millions struck, a minute handful left the presses with an unusual surface treatment and microscopic metal inconsistencies. Those tiny variations later reacted with time itself, turning select coins into dark-toned works of art. When numismatists began discovering these pieces years later, they realized something incredible. These were not damaged coins. They were naturally aged masterpieces of the modern mint. You might think 1997 isn't that long ago, surely there are plenty of these around. But that's the illusion. Most quarters from that decade are still circulating, scratched, scuffed, or destroyed by polishing. Very few have survived with intact details and those deep black toning marks that collectors adore. Finding one in very fine condition, where Washington's hairlines, lettering, and eagle feathers are still crisp, is like discovering a modern coin frozen perfectly between time and chemistry. And remember, this isn't silver. It's the modern copper-nickel-clad composition, harder to tone beautifully, harder to preserve, and far rarer to age gracefully. That's what makes this coin a paradox. It's modern, yet ancient in its visual depth, common in date, yet unbelievably scarce in perfection. Across the United States, coin forums and auction houses have been buzzing with stories of 1997 with P. Each time one appears, collectors crowd the listings. The black-spotted variety has become a cult legend, proof that beauty and rarity can still appear in the most unexpected places. Experts call this phenomenon the dark mirror. Under magnification, those spots create an illusion of galaxies swirling across the coin's surface. And for serious collectors, owning one feels like capturing a slice of cosmic art, born not from design, but from nature itself. So when one of these very fine examples hits the open market, something amazing happens. Quiet chatter turns into chaos. Bidding starts modestly, and then numbers start flying upward. $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, until the final hammer crashes down at a figure that leaves the room stunned. That single 1997 with P. Washington quarter, those dark-spotted, time-kissed surfaces intact, commands a current verified market value of $73,000. Yes, $73,000. A 25-cent coin that now stands as a modern treasure, its price climbing higher each year as more collectors realize just how few of these marvels truly exist. Think about it. A coin minted in your lifetime, perhaps even one you've held without knowing, could carry a story powerful enough to change your future. Every black spot on this coin tells a secret: the chemistry of air, the fingerprint of the mint, and the slow artistry of time itself. It's the kind of beauty you can't manufacture. It's earned through decades of silent transformation. If you ever see a 1997 quarter with a P under Washington's neck and a surface dotted with dark, natural black patterns, don't dismiss it. Handle it gently by the edges. Check its detail. If those features are sharp and the toning looks authentic, you might be holding one of the most valuable modern quarters ever struck. Store it in a protective case, away from humidity, and have it authenticated by a trusted grading service. Because this coin's demand is growing faster than anyone predicted, and the day may come when $73,000 feels like a bargain for a flawless survivor. The 1997 with P Washington quarter isn't just metal. It's mystery, art, and value fused together in a coin the world thought was ordinary. It's proof that even in the age of machines, nature can still leave her mark and turn a simple 25 cents into a fortune. And just when you think you've seen every rare Washington quarter there is, wait until you meet the next one. Because what comes next isn't just valuable, it's nearly mythical. Coin number 5. Now, we enter one of the most iconic chapters in American coinage, a moment when our nation celebrated 200 years of independence and the U.S. Mint created something special, something unforgettable. It was 1976, a time of parades, fireworks, pride, and unity. To honor the nation's bicentennial, the Mint did something it had never done before. It changed the design of America's most familiar coins. And in that celebration, a legend was born: the 1976 D Bicentennial Washington Quarter, a coin that doesn't just mark history, it is history. This coin carries 2 dates, 1976 to 1976. It reminds us that 2 centuries earlier, a group of determined patriots stood up to create a new nation. Every bicentennial quarter carries that legacy, but not everyone tells its story the same way. Because some, like this rare Denver-minted 1976 with D quarter, came out different. Something about the way time touched it transformed it from ordinary change into a national treasure. The bicentennial quarters were struck in enormous numbers, but this particular one, with the D mint mark, was part of a series that experienced subtle alloy and striking variations. That year, the Mint experimented with new die textures, polishing methods, and finishes to handle unprecedented production levels. And though most of those coins circulated heavily, dull, worn, and common, a few developed a special surface phenomenon. This one, for example, features a rich brown toning that glows across its silver-gray surface like aged parchment. That soft, natural hue was born over decades of quiet oxidation, and now it stands as proof that beauty doesn't fade, it deepens. To collectors, this isn't just patina, it's time's autograph. And here's where the story takes a turn from patriotic to unbelievable. Most bicentennial quarters are worth face value, but not this one. The 1976 with D pieces that show natural brown toning, strong detail, and fine condition have become extraordinarily desirable. They represent not just a historic design, but a once-in-a-lifetime preservation of minting art. Think about it. These coins were made to circulate during one of the biggest celebrations in American history. They were passed from hand to hand, used in millions of transactions, worn by time. Yet somehow, this one survived, whole, detailed, beautiful. A true survivor of America's 200th birthday. How can a coin struck in the millions become rare? The answer lies in survival and perfection. The vast majority of bicentennial quarters were spent, lost, or damaged. Only a tiny fraction escaped with their original minting detail, and even fewer developed the kind of smooth, natural brown toning that gives this coin its museum-worthy appeal. Collectors call it the autumn finish, a warm color that looks almost like the American flag's red stripe fading into history. Today, these few surviving 1976 with D quarters are fiercely hunted. When a verified, unaltered brown tone specimen appears, the market doesn't hesitate, it explodes. Because this is not just a coin. It's a celebration frozen in metal. At major coin shows and auctions, the energy is electric whenever a bicentennial quarter like this one is announced. Collectors know it is more than nostalgia, it is investment. It's patriotism turned into profit. Bidding begins modestly, then grows. The number climbs fast. 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, and then the room goes silent as the figure reaches into 6 digits. The gavel drops. And the 1976 with D bicentennial Washington quarter, with its soft brown shade and fine condition, sells for a breathtaking $120,500. Yes, $120,500. Not an antique from the 1700s. Not a gold coin. A modern American quarter struck in the year our country celebrated freedom, now worth more than a treasure chest of silver. And the most incredible part? This isn't a fading legend. This is today's market value, verified and growing year after year. Experts are unanimous. These bicentennial rarities are skyrocketing in demand. As more collectors seek pieces tied to America's 200-year milestone, prices for high-quality examples like this are expected to surge even higher. This coin captures everything America stands for: endurance, resilience, and beauty that strengthens with time. Every curve of Washington's face, every feather of the drummer boy on the reverse, shines with meaning. It's not just metal, it's memory, minted. And when you hold one like this, with its earthy brown patina and perfect D-mint mark, it's as if you're holding a tiny piece of the 1976 celebration itself. The fireworks, the flags, the feeling that this country could achieve anything. For every viewer watching right now, if you come across a bicentennial quarter with a D mint mark and a warm brown or golden tone, check it carefully. Make sure it hasn't been cleaned or altered. If it looks naturally aged and detailed, you may have stumbled upon a true patriotic fortune. Protect it, grade it, and hold on to it. Because this coin is not just valuable, it's timeless. This is the 1976 with D bicentennial Washington quarter, a coin that celebrates America's past, shines in the present, and promises fortune for the future. A living symbol of independence, now worth a collector's dream. And if you think this was incredible, don't blink, because the next coin on our list is even rarer, even older, and could redefine what you believe about the hidden treasures of the Washington Quarter series. Coin number 6. Now we come to the coin that defied all logic, the one that shouldn't even exist in this kind of condition. The one that turned an ordinary 1980s quarter into a jaw-dropping modern treasure. This is the 1988 with D Washington quarter, and believe me when I say this, it's the kind of discovery that can change everything you think you know about modern US. Coinage. In 1988, the United States Mint in Denver was running at full capacity. The economy was booming, coin circulation was massive, and millions of quarters were pouring out of the presses every single day. But out of those millions, something extraordinary happened. Among the common coins of the era, the vending machine workhorses, the pocket change of everyday America, a tiny handful were struck with astonishing perfection. One of them gleamed differently, like it was born for greatness. And today, that same coin has become one of the most sought-after, breathtaking and valuable modern quarters ever found. At first glance, The 1988 with D Washington quarter might look like a typical piece of pocket change. But then the light hits it, and you see that shimmer. Not the dull gray of everyday coins, but a silvery, satin-like glow, kissed with a faint gray layer that dances across the surface. That's the mark of a true uncirculated survivor. While nearly every other coin from that year was handled, stacked, or worn by time, this one was spared. Protected. Preserved. Almost as if destiny had chosen it. Collectors who encounter it in hand describe it as hauntingly beautiful. The kind of coin that seems to whisper its story before you even tilt it toward the light. How did it survive uncirculated, untouched, perfect, when millions perished in circulation? That is the question that makes it legendary. Now, here is where the plot thickens. Numismatists, that's the term for expert coin collectors, discovered that some 1988 with D quarters displayed subtle variations in strike sharpness, die polish, and surface reflectivity. A small batch of these coins was minted under exceptional conditions, possibly the result of freshly prepared dies, slightly altered alloy balance, or even microscopic planchet differences. The result? Coins that appeared to shimmer with an almost silver-like finish, distinct from the usual nickel-copper tones. Many of these ultra-bright quarters slipped quietly into circulation, unnoticed for decades, until collectors with sharp eyes started pulling them from rolls and realizing they'd stumbled upon something far beyond normal. And when certified grading companies began receiving them in pristine, uncirculated condition, the market went wild. By the late 2010s, as more Americans turned to numismatics collecting rare U.S. coins, the demand for modern anomalies skyrocketed. The 1988 with D Washington quarter, once ignored, became a headline grabber. Those found in uncirculated silver-gray condition, especially those with the unique gray layer sheen, began fetching enormous prices at auction. At first, $10,000, then $25,000, whoosh. Then, as awareness spread across collector forums and grading communities, a few extraordinary specimens shattered expectations, crossing the $90,000 mark. Yes, $90,000 for a single quarter from 1988. A coin that once jingled in someone's pocket, now worth more than some people's yearly income. And this isn't a one-time auction fluke, this is the current verified market trend. Collectors, dealers, and investors are all chasing this beauty because the numbers don't lie. Prices are climbing year after year, and the supply is microscopic. This coin is a sleeping giant that has fully awakened, and its roar is echoing through every major U.S. coin convention right now. Think about it. This coin was struck in the Reagan era during a time of optimism, innovation, and American pride. It carries that spirit. It holds that history. The Washington portrait gleams with detail, his curls, his gaze, the sharp edges of his profile, untouched by time. The reverse still shouts with strength, the eagle's wings spread wide, perfectly preserved. And when you hold one of these uncirculated 1988 with D quarters in your hand, it's not metal. It's time travel. It's America, frozen in perfection. Collectors often ask, why would a modern coin like this be worth so much? The answer lies in three words: condition, rarity, and demand. Uncirculated condition means untouched perfection. Rarity means very few survive this way. And demand? It's skyrocketing because this is a coin from the modern age that most people still think is common. Coins like this are the bridge between the modern pocket change world and the elite realm of collectible treasures. They prove that fortune can be hiding in plain sight, even in the coins we grew up spending. If you ever find a 1988 quarter with a D mint mark, look closely. Under good lighting, if it shines with a subtle silver-gray brilliance instead of a flat metallic tone, don't ignore it. Check its condition. If it looks untouched, flawless, or unusually vibrant, protect it immediately. Get it authenticated, get it graded, because you might just be holding a modern miracle. And that miracle could easily be worth tens of thousands of dollars, or more, as demand continues to rise. So here we are at the end of our list, but at the heart of America's coinage story. The 1988 with D. Washington quarter is living proof that treasures don't always come from centuries past. Some are hiding in your generation, waiting quietly for someone to recognize their brilliance. It's rare, it's radiant, and it's real. And at a stunning market value of $90,000, this coin stands as one of the greatest modern-era Washington quarter discoveries, a treasure that reminds us that history is still being written, one coin at a time. This is the kind of coin that can change your destiny in an instant. And remember, I'm not telling you fiction. This is the truth, the reality of America's rare coin world today. So if you love discovering coins that can rewrite your future, make sure you subscribe right now, because Ultra Rare US Coins brings you freshly updated videos every single day, filled with real stories, real value, and the hidden treasures of America's coins. Don't miss what's coming next, because the next discovery could be yours.